Imagine explorers arriving to find our cities deserted. Our books have perished in some unknown catastrophe. All that is left to speak for us are the written words we have carved in stone. The travelers cannot make sense of our mysterious script. But if they could, would they comprehend who we were? In the jungles of southern Mexico and Central America, the ancient ruins of the Maya posed such a mystery. They revealed a civilization of stunning achievements, created in isolation from Europe and Asia. Their cities were full of strange inscriptions, fantastic twisting forms called hieroglyphs. They were carved on monuments and objects, painted on pottery, and written in bark paper books. For centuries, the hieroglyphs confounded explorers. What secrets did they hold? Were they pictures and symbols, or in fact, true writing expressing an ancient language? After centuries of struggle, the stories of the Maya scribes are coming to life. As the hieroglyphs reveal their meaning, a history of a lost world is emerging, transforming our view of the ancient Maya. Since ancient times, the Maya have lived in a region that extends from southern Mexico through much of Central America. The heart of their civilization lay between the highlands of Guatemala and the plains of the Yucatan, much of it a vast region of dense jungle. Here, around AD 200, they began building their great cities: Tikal, Copan, and Palenque. Pyramids and temples towered over plazas and ball courts, where kings ascended to the throne and warrior athletes competed for their lives. Maya civilization thrived for over 2,000 years, distinguished by a sophisticated culture. As Europe entered the Dark Ages, these city-states reached the height of their glory, some supporting hundreds of thousands of people. Yet mysteriously, in the 9th century, the Maya abandoned many of their cities. The temples and pyramids in the central lowlands were swallowed by the forest and forgotten. Almost 1,000 years later, a Spanish explorer named José Calderón stumbled upon the jungle city of Palenque. Inside its abandoned temples, Calderón and his men found huge stone tablets carved with figures and hieroglyphic writing. As news of the strange texts spread, French artist Jean-Frédéric Waldeck traveled to Palenque in 1832 to sketch its hieroglyphs. Believing that Babylonians, Phoenicians, or Hindus had built the Maya cities, as more sites were discovered, explorers did their best to draw the unfamiliar glyphs. But their work lacked the detail needed for decipherment. The Maya had developed a calendar to mark time and even pursued astronomy, and precise predictions for the dates of lunar and solar eclipses. And there were tables tracking the cycles of the planet Venus, which was linked with warfare. Very large numbers were counts back in time to a date the Maya believed the universe was created. By correlating this to the Western calendar date of August 13th, 3114 BC, archaeologists could now date the carvings on stone monuments called stela. The importance of self-sacrifice can be seen in this ceremony. A royal lady conjures a vision of a serpent with an offering of her own blood. She has perforated her tongue with a stingray spine to draw a rope embedded with thorns through the incision. In front of her, slips of paper soaked in her own blood burn in a ceramic bowl. Out of the rising smoke forms the vision of a serpent. From its mouth emerges the figure of an ancestor. The upper text describes the ceremony. On March 28, 755, a vision was conjured of the serpent Yash no Chan, the animal spirit of the god Kawil, and then a vision was conjured of the ancestor. From glyphs and art, the psyche of the ancient Maya was emerging. It became clear that from the 3rd to 9th centuries, the Maya world was dominated by warring superpowers. On the last dated monument of Copan, the great king Yash Pasa hands his scepter to his successor, signaling the dawn of a new dynasty. But this new reign never began. The scribe telling its story fled, leaving the monument unfinished. The kingdom could no longer sustain either rulers or artists. As political upheaval engulfed the region, the great cities of the southern lowlands finally collapsed. Over 1,000 years later, in the 1980s, Maya villages were again under siege. As civil war ravaged Central America, the Maya made a desperate effort to save their culture.
Many times we identify with the glorious past. We say, I'm Maya, I see Tikal, Copan, and various monuments, and we identify ourselves as Maya. But many of us don't speak our language now. Every day it is slipping away.
The Maya had guided explorers and rebuilt monuments. They had shared knowledge of their spoken languages and customs. Now they wanted to reap the benefits of the decipherment.
So at this Mayan workshop in Antigua, I gave a presentation about a hieroglyphic text, and I showed how you could read it.
This is the history they never taught me in school. It is very important because it is the history I care about.
For centuries, Maya culture has been brutally suppressed. Its people were pressured to speak and write in Spanish and take Christian names. Now, the Maya are rediscovering the hieroglyphs and their history.
One of the most precious gifts that any group of humans on the earth has is history. The process of actually deciphering it, that's only the first tiny step to understanding what this great civilization contributed to the heritage of humanity.
Glyphs represent our one and only window into the pre-Columbian past.
With the cracking of the Maya code, the words of their ancient scribes have finally come to life, revealing a history and literature of a vanished world.